we can add eyes to our rigs. Here on the head tab, we have these bottom settings here, which control how the eyes are added. We can add single eyes or pairs, of course. We can change the number of eyes that are added, and we also have this option here for grouping. First of all, let's just turn that off. Notice that the number here is the number of either eyes or pairs. So if we were wanting to add a pair, we would not enter 2. And similarly, if we added 2 eyes, we would not get a symmetrical left-right pair. We would get 2 singular eyes. In that sense, the eyes work exactly the same as all the other parts. They can be added in singles or in pairs, and you can add any number of them. So let us add then a single pair of non-grouped eyes. We can just add them here to the main root, and there we have a pair of eyes. Notice that when we go into fitting mode, each eye has its own little target null there, and so you can point the eye by default by targeting it. Note of course that if we go into edit part, then we have different options here for the eyes, either FK or target. In FK mode, of course, then the eye is simply FK rotated like this. Of course, when you do have a pair of eyes, you normally move them together, and you may or may not want to be selecting both controls like this each time you go to move the eyes. This is where groups come in. If we check grouped here, and we add one grouped pair of eyes, then we get another pair of eyes here, but notice that we have this group root marker added here. This of course is the parent marker for both eyes, but it also represents their group. If we now go into rig fit, we see a different controller has appeared. This is a group controller, and we see that the 2 individual eye controllers are children of it. This means that we can move the eyes round as a pair from a singular controller, or do cross-eyed, twirly-eye things like this. Also, notice that if I now uncheck grouped and I come to add one singular eye, I can choose the eye group root as its parent now. The result of this is that I get a third eye, or it could have been another pair of eyes, but it is added to this same group. Consequently, when I do a fit, you can see that all 3 of the eyes in that group are now under this one main controller, but can still be operated individually. This grouping also works another way. Let me temporarily just get rid of all these eyes, or at least just move them out of the way there. And I'm very quickly just going to add a pair of heads here. There we have it, 2 different heads. Now I will add a non-grouped pair of eyes. Just choose the left head there, and of course we get the standard pairing addition behavior. One eye, or the left eye, is a child of the left head, and the right eye has become a child of the right head. Notice, however, if I add a grouped pair of eyes, and we'll choose again the left head as the parent, we get the eye group, of course, as expected, but notice now that the pair are a child of the left head. Because they are a grouped pair, we do not have left on the left and right on the right head. As such, the behavior of how eyes will split their pairings across paired items is altered as well by the activation of this group switch. You can also notice, of course, that when these eyes are moving, there is this second bone that appears here. You can notice its name is the eyelids. You get this second bone both in the null bone style rigs that we have here, and it also appears in the null deform rigs. Of course, you have a secondary eye bone, which is the eyelids. As you can notice, this only follows partially with the movement of the main eye bone itself. The reason behind this is to allow you to create a soft eyes effect should you desire. So these main bones here, which would be the main controllers in FK mode, you would skin these to your actual eyeball geometry, whereas these you would create a weight map or skin them to the eyelid geometry. As such, when you are moving the eyes around, you will get a soft eyes effect. An effect which we can see demonstrated on this character here. One set of bones are skinned to the eyeballs, the other to the eyelids, and it gives us this very natural soft eyes effect without having to do any extra animation work of the eyelids themselves.